Hey, everybody, Drew Scooter, Sleep With Me podcast. Wherever you're watching this, thanks so much for listening to the show. I just wanted to try and do more videos talking about podcast apps and stuff like that. So I'm going to go through a couple podcast apps and show you how to use the sleep timer just in case. I know it's not for everybody. Some people listen all night long or build their own playlists. But yeah, let's just see. This is Podccast. There's already something running from let's see, 1262 multiplex 8-story only from Sleep With Me Plus. But on Podccast, you can see the ZZZZZs. You just hit that. You pick your sleep timer, end of episode you could pick, or you could pick 5, 10, 15 minutes, 15, 30 minutes, an hour, or you could set it custom. Let's try Apple Podcasts. I had it running, but that was about 30 minutes. Okay, here we go. All right, so Apple Podcasts, you could see it here, and you can see a moon with Z's. So you click that moon with Z's, and you could pick 1 hour, 45 minutes, 30 minutes, 15 minutes, 10 minutes, 5 minutes, or when the current episode ends. And then let's just see on Spotify. My daughter may be listening to Spotify, so this might not work. All right, let's go to a podcast. Let's try Sleep With Me. And also, Sleep With Me Plus works on Spotify, and you can build your own playlists if you're a Spotify user. All right, let's go to 1287. Let's hit play. Okay, and on Spotify, there's that stopwatch. I believe that's for sleep timer, and it is. Oh yeah, I know, Cole, you hate it when I'm making videos, and there you go. You pick your sleep timer. I'm going to jump back to Podccast for one more thing. Two things, actually. One is if you're a Sleep With Me Plus subscriber, I highly suggest using one. I guess I suggest this for everybody. If you listen to more than just one podcast, is pick a podcast for just Sleep With Me Plus content. It's going to be just a way better experience. If you're a runner, pick a podcast app just for your running podcasts, and then for your daytime podcasts, or if you're a commuter, pick a podcast app for your commutes. It's so much easier to have one podcast app focused on stuff, especially with streaming or the size of phones now. You can either stream episodes or download them, and just, you can change the settings within your podcast app. One more thing, though, I always want to point out nowadays to change. Make sure in your podcast app, if it has any options like this, they are off. Volume boost, trim silence, and speed is at 1x, unless you want to make the podcast slower, or you're like me and you're proofing it for the second time. But yeah, you want these off on a sleep podcast, any sleep podcast. Trim silence, particularly silences in sleep podcasts and audio fiction, audio drama are intentional, and in comedy, probably in interviews. So you probably, unless you're listening to something to consume it only, you want that off. Unless you're if you're learning something or you're listening to interviews to consume them versus the art of interviewing, volume boost is going to throw off shows like Sleep With Me because we already mix our audio and export everything to standardized levels. It can help with, there's some podcasts out there that maybe are exported at a little bit quieter volume, and that works great for those. So anyway, that's it. That's your Talking Tuesdays about podcast apps. Thanks, everybody.